Dr. Abbas Malik, and I'm your instructor for this web development course. If you have not subscribed the channel, then please subscribe it so that you can get the notification of new videos in this lecture or in this course or the other course that I will be uploading on this one. So we finished our last lecture at this point where we have designed the insert record HTML page, and then that HTML page will we contain a form in which the user can enter the information about a student, and then it can add those information inside the backend and send that post request to this backend server so that it can add those informations, a new record inside the student's table. So that is the point where we left our last lecture. So now let's move forward our discussion on the view record. So how we can view the record, or we can what you can say that, or we can uh, edit the record view or the update the record over there. So first of all, what I need to do, we need to view record, open the view record.html page, and then we need to design that specific page, such specific GUI elements, HTML elements, and so on. User can enter the ID value and then click on the load record button. When I click on the load record button, then it will show that information for that specific ID value. It will actually send a GET request to the server send back the record of that student, and then we are displaying that record of the student inside the HTML form. And then after making some necessary changes inside the information of the student, user can click on the update student button, and then it will send a second request as a put request with these updated information to update the record of that student inside the backend or the database server. So first of all, let us start implementing that thing. So we have already put that navigation part here. So if I just try to come down here, and then we need to build that. So I will what I will do, I will just try to copy paste that specific HTML code here, and then I will explain you guys what does it mean. So first of all, let's start with the top one here. So what we are showing, we are putting that if I just save that thing here and try to open up my no, this is the slide. So I need to open up that page. So if I just have view and edit, so you can see that it is showing me that thing here as well. So right now it does not do anything. If I just do that, if I just even put the number here, if I do that, because we have not written down the JavaScript code yet. Okay, but this is what you can say that the title. So that title is being displayed here. This one, the card header. Okay. The next thing is the card body, and then in the card body, I first of all I have the ID section. In the ID section, which is visible here, you have the input field, and then we also have the load report button. So if you look at that here, we have this enter the student ID, and then we have the input group, and then we have input, and then we also have a button. So in the input, we can enter the value, and then we can click on the load button. When you click on the load button, actually it will execute the load students method, which we have not written down yet. And this part, which is I am showing you here, it is hidden. Actually, when you what you can say that we enter a ID value of a student and then click on the load button, it will make this hidden part unhidden, and then it will be displayed. So because display type is equal to none, and then we have, using that ID, we can access that specific div and change that display style to from none to display that one. So again, we also have a form inside that hidden part. We also have a form here, and this form has the same field that has we have already seen inside the insert record page. So we have different. We have the input field for the name. Then we also have the drop down menu input field for the gender. Then we also have the input field for the semester and the minimum and maximum value, and it has been given over there. And then we also have the input field for that what you can say that input field for that drop down menu input field for the major part. So and then we also have the buttons like clear form, and then we also, when we clear the function, it will actually clear the function. We need to write that function as well for how we can write clear that whole form. And then we have update, then we also have a submit button for that form as well. So let's start working on the, and then of course we have a footer, and let's start working on the script part. We script, and then inside that script what we need to do first, and then we need to what you can say that we are defining a local variable which is the current student ID, number one thing. And the number two thing that we will the show alert part. So we have this method which is showing the alert to the uh, to whenever we are making some something, then it will show me that alert message. Then we also have the show loading. Show loading is something which, if we are sending the request to the server, which we have already seen, then it will show me the spinner, and then we are processing something. The system is processing, and then finally we have this add event function that actually will load that thing and will save it. And then if I do that, then you can see that we are saying that when the page has been fully loaded inside the browser, what it will do, it will access the URL parameters from the URL params, URL search params, and then window.location.search. And then if the ID value is already exist over there, then actually what it will do, it will assign that ID to a value. And then we say if the ID is given, ID is present in the URL parameter, then we are going to we are going to put that ID value in the input field of that. If I just quickly show you this input field, we will put that ID in there, and then we will start executing the load function, load student function. So we haven't written down yet, but of course we will write it down. And the second thing is that update the student. So we face forms and then submit and update. So it means that we are submitting. So we have, if you look here inside the form, we have a submit button. So we are specifying that whenever this form is submitted using this button, actually it will start executing the what you can say that it will start executing the update student method, which we will be writing shortly. Okay. And then again, we have the async method that is we are going to use here. And then inside the async method, we have, which is a load student method. And then what we are doing, we are reading the informations out of that input field. Yeah. Once the input field has been is the value has been given, and the ID value is given by the user, and the input field is not empty. If it is empty, then we are sending show an alert message. Otherwise we will continue our discussion, continue our processing. Then first of all, we show that spinner to identify or to mark that we are processing the user request. And then we are using the fetch method, we are sending the get post request to the specific URL. And definitely that specific URL is actually the slash data slash student, and then we are also giving the ID value. And if you remember, inside our method, we have this get method. This is the get method. We also have a post method. Then we also have get method, this one. So this get method is actually what we are trying to use here. If we look at here, it is trying to say slash data slash students, and we are providing the ID value as a URL parameter. And then we are accessing that informations out of it, and then we are sending us that request to the SQL server, MySQL server, and the MySQL server send back the result, and then we are sending back the results. But here we may need to change a few things. Okay. And now I will show you the what does it mean. Okay. So we send that it will send me back a response, and then we actually read the data out of that response, and then we say result.success. It means that we have inside the response, we must have something like this. So it will be a object in which we have success, and that will be a true value. And then we also have a data value, not database data value, and that will be actually the data value that is coming back. Okay. uh, so we are only sending back the one record that we have read from the server. Okay, so if there is a success, I mean, if that has been true, if there is no success, then we need to make sure that we are sending something like this. Here we can say that response dot send, and then we are sending something like this, not like this. I will just try to delete that thing, and then rather than success, we can say it is false. And then here, rather than sending the data back because we don't have the data, so we have a message, and then message could be something like this: could not read data from the database. Okay, so we are sending a message here rather than and then we are also sending this message here. And then again, if that length is not 0, then what we can do, rather than sending this one, I will say that I want to send the uh, true. Actually, we have read the data, but maybe that specific student does not exist over there. And then we can just simply say that we are sending the null value. Let me check what we are doing here. So if there is a success, we are say current ID result dot data dot ID, and then display that student over there. So we are not checking that thing here. So we can add that thing. We say if the result dot data, if that result or data exists over there, then we are going to display these things. Otherwise, in the else part, we when we say that it is a null value, we will copy this thing and put it here, and then student record, we just simply say does not exist, and then here we say it is a warning type of a message, because we need to send the success message or the warning message. So accordingly, it will show me that one. So we have that alert as well. We edit it accordingly if we are getting back the data or not. If we are getting back the data, no data is there, then we say that no, we cannot read any record. But if the data is given, then we will display that it okay. So we have edited our uh, server, the backend server, accordingly, according to our front end. So front end and the backend should match what is being sent by the backend server, and accordingly we need to handle the things here. Okay, so if I think that we have implemented that part properly. And then in case that we have an error, show the loading force. Once we finish our processing, we say that we don't want to process. And then in that case, if there is an error while we are sending and receiving back the HTTP request and response, and then whatever that message is coming back from the server, uh, it should be result.server result.message, because here in case of error we are sending a message, and in case of success we are sending a data back. So in case of error, that we are if we have some error over there, so result.message, so we are sending back a danger. So then we can say that there is some problem here. So that is the function, and the other function is that we need to display here. If you look at that here, we want to display these form, so we display that information, then we are sending their student to our display. So actually this is student result or data, and then we are display that student. Actually it will access the form fields, and then put those information inside it and display that form on the page. Okay, and then the other thing is that we want to show is that we want to for okay, let's see that how this specific record is being to be displayed. So let me refresh my page here, and then I say 45 because this one is not present in my database. When I click on that, so you can see that it is giving me a show that message student record does not exist accordingly. And if I give 25, And then if I show that, then student has been successfully, it show me the alert message as well as show me that specific part. So up to that, because we have not implemented this part, so it will does not do anything right now. It will refresh because we are submitting the form. So when we are submitting, it automatically refresh that page. Okay. So let's implement that specific update part as well, because we have not specified that function yet. So here, if you look at that, when I where is the function, load function, and let me, okay, let me paste it here. So this is the function. So as you can see that when I press the update button, it automatically refresh the page. To avoid that specific behavior, which is the default behavior of the submission of a form, we are writing this specific event dot prevent default. And then what we are doing again, just like for the insert, we are reading the values out of those input fields and saving that information. We are creating the student data JavaScript object with the keys of the name, gender, semester, and the major. And then we are checking if the name is present or the semester is in between the 1 and 2. If it is not, then we are showing an alert message, and we are showing that specific what you can say, that error message to the user. And the same thing is, if the name is not given, then we are also showing the error message. If the data is has been collected from the input field and there is no issue with the data, name is given, semester is also between the 1 and 8 values, then what we are doing, we are showing that we are processing your request, user request, show the spinner over there in front of the page, and then we are sending the fetch request to the specific. So here we can just simply say that slash data slash student, and then we are sending the current student ID that has been specified when we are uh, when we hit the load student record button. And because we are updating the record, so this method should send a post request. It should then send a put request, and then we are specifying the header, and then inside the body we are putting that student data, the updated student data that we have read from the input field. So once we have done that, we send that request. This fetch method will we are waiting for that one to finish the job. Once it finishes the job, it will send back the HTTP response which has been received from the server, and it will be saved in the response. We are opening the response, HTTP response, and only reading its body and the results which had been sent back by the server. So we are reading the results, and then we are also logging. So this will log will go into that so here we say result.success. If the result has been updated successfully, show the updated successfully, show an alert message to the user, and then we say display student inform result.data. So actually this data is being result.data is success is true, and then the result data is actually being shown in the this form as well. So, and if in case of the no error, if there is no success, then we are showing the message over there. But we can also, if you look at that, okay, this is something which is on the put. So now we, in case of the error, we are saying that we are, where is the put request? So we have a put request. We have not changed it. So let me first change that thing. If there is an error, we are sending back the error message. So we, in case of error, we are res.send. We want to send a message, and that will be the error dot message. Okay, so we are sending back the error message rather than sending that HTML. We are going to send back the response dot send, and then we say success is equal to true, and the next thing is the data, and that will be what you can say, that we are showing the data here in case of success. So we are saying that successfully, and then display student data is coming back from the server. So we can, I think that we already have this student, so we are sending the student back. So we are saving it. Okay. The issue is that we need to enclose this key value pairs in the object. Okay, so that is all done. And then in case that we are unable to insert the record, okay, then we are going to send back, rather than sending this thing, we are going to send back that null value, and then we also make it true. The other thing is, if I just try to see that thing, we are also sending the true. We are successfully read the data, but there is no data comes in. That's why we are sending the null value. And then here again, we are sending the null value. The same thing, we need to make sure that we are implementing that thing on the other side as well. And then if the set data has been successfully updated, so that will become the part of the if the result dot data is given, then we are going to do that. Otherwise, we are going to do differently. Okay, in the else part, if the data is actually null, then we, rather than showing this thing, I will say this thing, and then I will say that it is a warning message, and the student updated student is not updated, and then accordingly we need to send that message, a warning message. And then of course we don't want to display the data over there. Rather than displaying the data, I think that what we can do, we can change that form container to none. We can hide that thing. We can hide that information, document or get on with, and then here we say none. So when you say none, it will hide that display of the uh, information. Okay. I think that we have implemented all those things. Then we are at the end, once we have finished it, we will stop showing that processing part. And mm, in case of the error, again, it will show me send that error dot message. Rather than error dot message, it is the result dot message. If I just try to, okay, I mean, error dot message. So this error dot message is actually coming from that try catch block. Okay, what is the reason that we are unable to send or receive back the HTTP request and responses? So we are going to do that. So the other thing, that clear form function, so that is also there. So let me so what we are doing, we are clearing all the values from that form. ID value is cleared, and then prove the student ID value is equal to zero, nothing, and then we are say current student ID is equal to null. So we are clearing that form information from there. So that is the all done. So let me go back here, refresh my page. The other thing that we are reading, if we just look at that, we are reading the information here, where we are loading, we are adding the event handler. So here, when on the page load event, what we are checking the ID value from the variable. So actually, this is coming from here. If I click on the edit, for example, if I click on the 9, the edit Kareem Abbas, so you can see that it is automatically putting that 9 value here. Because this value is present in in the URL, it put it over there, and then it load that page for information for me. But if I just go back here and then click on the view record, then it does not do that. So if I coming from these buttons, the edit buttons, then accordingly it will show me whatever button I have clicked. It will show me that specific user or the specific student information inside, and then I can change it accordingly. For example, Amal, I will say that I want to make it 6, and remember that 26. I change the semester to 27. From 4 to 6, if I update, it say that error updating student, unexpected error has happened. Okay, so what is that? So if I just try to quickly go into the tools and look at the dev tools, so it is showing me failed. Where is the console? I think that we are already looking at the console. So denial loading view.html.record HTML file ID value 26 extension. The resources fail to load resource. Okay, ID HTML6 ID 26 message port closed before a response was received. Okay, so before a response was received, the message port has been loaded. So actually we are updating. So let's go back to the update for student. So we are prevent default. We are getting these informations out of it. Then we are checking the user's name and everything. We just put that. Okay, let me first go to the record number 26 and then check. It is still no. It show me the if you look at that, the data has been updated. It means that we have received back the response, and then we are making some we have successfully if the result dot success, and then inside the result dot success, so let me check this thing. We are putting the data, so this is the id value. Okay, let me check again what we are doing here, which type of request we are sending. So we let me see. So we update, and then actually we are sending on this slash data slash students and the current ID, and this is the put request. So we are handling that thing, slash data slash ID. And if you look at that, this function, this function actually being called, and this is actually sending me back the response like this. Actually, we have updated the information here. So let me copy this part from these informations from here to here and then comment that thing. The same thing we need to do from here to here. And we rather than sending the HTML, we are sending Java JSON information. Okay, and then the same thing we need to do here as well, because we are updating the other the put method, which where the ID is actually coming as the body of the message. So we can go and change over there, or we can change the informations here as well. So we are not trying to make the same thing here. The update had been done actually. So if I just go back here and then I say that I want to read the record number 26, press, and then if I just try to change it to 7 and I say update, so you can say that student has been successfully updated, so there's no error in that case. And then we are back here. Okay, so we have finished our view part, view and update part. So the next thing that we want to implement is the view update. I mean, we need to go and uh, change the show alert. We will see that how we can show the spinner, and then we have implemented, we have specified the settings, and we implemented that what we will do on the page load event, and then how we are going to submit the update form. Then we have the load function. Then this load function we have explained. We talk about that. We don't need to. Then we have the view record. Then we have server edit. So we need to edit the server so that it can send back the data properly for the. And then we also need to update the put record so that it is going to send me back the. And then we can also specify the status here. I mean, as you can see that it has specified the status of that request. This is also a good practice that we need should do that. So how we can do that? We come back into the server, and then here we can say that uh, status, and then we can do that because this is the 404. The data is not present over there, so that's why we do that. And dot status, and then we can say here we have 200. And then in this case, when we say that we have a problem in the server, we could not read data, so we have our status, and then we can say that we are sending it to the internal server error. So this is also a good practice that we are specifying the according to the action which has been taken by the server, so we are specifying the status of the request as well. So that is also a good practice that we should do. Okay. Then we have the update student method. So we also have updated. So actually, we have changed a little bit over there. We also check that if the data is actually coming back or data is null. So accordingly, we are specifying the different thing as well. So that is another thing. We have talked about that. We discussed, this is the demo which you have already seen. So next thing is the last thing that we need to see here in this lecture is how we can delete the record. The first thing, again, the same thing as we need to have the GUI which design that page so that we can allow the user to enter a student ID, and then we can click on the load button. Then when you click on the load button, it will show me that user, and then it can also allow. Then we can click on the delete button, and then once it will show, then we can have permanently delete. When you permanently delete, it will ask the user that are you really serious that you want to delete that thing. And then of course, for the JavaScript part, what we need to do, we have a show alert method. We also specify the current student. We also specify the base URL, and then we also have the event listener. So when if the id is given, when we click on the index page, we click on the delete button, so it will automatically load that information for us. So this is again the same thing that we are doing, just we did in the view and update record uh, page. Then we are have a load student. So again, what we are doing, if the id value is not given, then we ask the user, you need to give the id value. Then we show the processing part. Then we are sending a get request to the user, the same get request, and then we are fetching that record and show that student record inside our page. And once it is displayed, we have display students. It will display that form with the informations about that student, and then it also show the delete button. And then this is the delete button request. So what we are doing, we are asking the user to confirm that, are you sure that you want to delete? You say yes, I want to delete it. Then we can say, if it is confirmed, then we show that we are processing, and then we send a fetch request. And then fetch request, because this one should be a delete request, so we are passing the second parameter and then specifying that this request is actually the delete one. And then we say result is equal to, we are sending that request, we are get back the HTTP response. From the HTTP response, we get back the results, and then from the results, actually uh, we are we are what you can say, that we are checking that if it's a success, we showing the appropriate message, clear the details and timeout and so on. So we're going to implement that thing, and eventually, once we do are here, we can click on the delete. When you click on the delete, automatically show me that one. We can go to the delete, we can give the value over there, and then we can press on the load. And then when you click on the load button, actually it will ask us that, are you sure you want to do that or not? And accordingly, we are going to delete that record from here. So let's what you can do, we can implement that behavior. So inside our, so first of all, we need to close that view record, open the delete record file, and then inside that, after that, and after that the navigation part, we need to copy, we need to design that page. So let me, what I will do, I will just try to copy the HTML part and here, and then we can do that. So once we are doing here, again in the beginning, we have the main card, we have a title, and then we have the ID input section, which is going to show me the ID, allow the user to fetch the record for a specific ID, and then we are going to load the student accordingly. And then this is a hidden part which is not shown by default on the page, but if when we load it, it will show me that form. And here we are going to create the uh, script part, and inside that script, what we are going to do, we are going to create that specific user here. And then then we have a show message that is the same that we have seen before. Let me put it over there. Then we also have a show loading, we are showing the spinner over there. Let me put it over there. And then the next thing is, then again, based on the we are when the page is being loaded, we are telling that what we want to load that specific student inside the form, if it is coming from that delete button from the index.html page. And then we have a load for a student function. Okay, so when we have a load student function, actually what it will do, it will send the request to that slash data slash student, and then the id value. And then we also need to make sure that we are sending the fetch data slash student id. So this is get request, which we have already implemented. We don't need, we have already changed here, so we don't need to worry about that. So it has already been done. But then it will get back the response, and then it will display the students. So first of all, I need to show you have that display students method. I don't think that this is the same method. The only thing is we are getting the ID value, we are sending the request, we are getting back the data, and then if it is a success, then we are showing this thing, and then we can also say we are showing that thing if the data is zero. I mean, remember that we have implemented. Let me check in the view record, and then we have a load function, and then inside the load function, if the data is given, then we can also do the same thing here. If the data is given, if the data is not there, maybe you are trying to access a specific ID which actually does not exist. So we can say if we have the data, result dot data, sorry, result dot data, then what we are going to do, we are going to do this thing, okay. And if we don't have the data in the else part, then of course we don't want to specify that which is the student ID, we don't want to display, but we want to display something like here that student record is not, student does not exist, we can say does not exist, okay. And then we can remove, and this is a warning message, okay. Or we can say it is a danger message, so accordingly it will going to show me that request. So how we can display the student, okay. So let me quickly check that thing, so first of all, where is my here? So if I click on the delete button and try to give something like 48 which does not exist inside, so you can see that student does not exist, okay. So it will accordingly send me back the proper appropriate response and showing me that thing. That's okay. And the other thing is, if I just try to delete something from here, for example, if I just say that I want to delete that one. So if you can see that automatically fill the information, automatically show me that data. Of course, it is not going to do anything, but if I click on it, it automatically refresh the page. Remember that whenever we are submitting the form, it will refresh that page. Okay. So that is okay. So the next thing is that we want to have a delete function. So delete function is actually something that we need to uh, talk about, and then we also have the clear function, clear details. So let me copy them, and then I will explain you the delete one as well. So here is my delete function. Where is the function? Load function, load function, load function here. So we are say that if the not current user, then we return. I mean, we have not specified that current student. It means that we don't have that does not exist, or we have not defined that one. Then it means that we don't want to delete anything. And then we also checking the confirm that if the ID current student ID is given and we have selected that one, then what we want to confirm, reconfirm with the user that are you sure that you want to delete it? If it is confirmed, then we are saying that we show the spiner to show that we are processing, and then we are sending the request to the slash data slash student, and then we are also putting the current ID. So before we can do that, we are going to send a delete request. The method is delete. So let's go back into our server, and then we may need to change a few things. I mean, this is not the request because here the ID value is coming as the body, but here the ID value is coming as the parameter. So this is the method that we need to change. Of course, we can also change this one as well accordingly, but here we are sending back the HTML tag, HTML response, but that's what we need to update here. So let's see how we are processing in the thing. So we say result.success. It means results contain that success information, and if show me an alert message that it has been successfully deleted, clear the details and set the timeout windows in for that. Then after some time, it automatically what you can say that after 2 seconds actually it automatically send me to the index.html. Not 2 seconds, it's 2 minutes. 2 minutes. So let me make it 1 minute. So after 1 minute, it automatically shift me towards the index file. And in case that we don't have a success, we will show the result.message. Okay, so we come back here, and then here we say response dot status, that is 500. and then we say send, and then we can sending a message. We say message, and then we say error dot message. So we are sending that error message here. And if we are having the affected rows rather than sending the HTML, we say status, we say status 200 success, and then we can say we want to send back a response with the uh, success column, uh, true value, so it's true. And then in this case, then we are unable to delete the record. So we are because there is no effect. I mean, normally it should not be the case, but let me what you can say that if due to some reasons the record exists inside over there, then we have a false. Then we also need to send the message. um, then we can say that uh, could not delete the record. Okay, so we are sending that we are sending the false, and we also sending that we could not delete that record. So we I think that we have implemented that properly. We are sending back the message in case of error. In case of success, we are sending true. And then in case of again another this is again what we can say that 404, we are unable to send that one. And then we don't find that record, or maybe it is not authorized. uh, the user is not authorized. We need to find out that specific status code for that one, and then accordingly we are sending that message back. So we are here, yeah, the result is success. If it is not success, it will send me that, throw me that error message, and stop showing that to spinner. And again, in case of the we are unable to perform or send or receive that requests, HTTP request, then we are going to send that. And then of course at the end we can clear the data from that forms. So this is what we have here. So let's check that thing. If I just click on the refresh the page, and when I refresh the page, we already have this one. So when we click on the delete, if I say cancel, it will not delete. But when I cancel, okay, it is going to delete. And you can see that after 1 minute or 1 second, not 1 minute, 1 second, 1 second, millisecond, yes. So after 1 second, it automatically redirect that, close that delete page and send me back to the index. And then we can see that we have deleted that form. Um, okay, so that is all for, and this is the end of this lecture. So we have implemented the complete full stack application. It's a very small application, of course, but we see how we can create the backend server, how we can connect with the database, how we can design the HTML files and send the HTTP request to the server and send back and get back the HTTP response, and accordingly perform the actions or the process the results according to that one. So that's all, and I hope that you have enjoyed all this course and the lecture. And if you have enjoyed this lecture and enjoy that course, then please subscribe and leave your messages, and thank you very much.